So there's been quite the hiatus between these reviews. February of 2019 to July 2024. So a little over almost 5.5 years. Mm-hmm. A little break in between.
Just a little break.
So, yeah, obviously there's a new addition here to the videos as well since those last ones. And I do want to apologize because I went back and rewatched some of those X-Files reviews. And if I had watched them before we started our rewatch, I would have probably just started over and maybe even just deleted those. Because those are bad. And they're short and I don't know what I was thinking, but that's when I used to do like these very quick, concise, like 2-second little things. Like my last episode was 5 minutes, which that's crazy because we talked about Pretty Little Liars summer school episodes, which you didn't even like for like 45 friggin' minutes each. And there's not even anywhere near as much to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend 45 minutes, but we'll see. You know, certain episodes I'm sure will garner more time than others. But we're back. I'm back. But we're back now. And funny enough, Kaylee and I started this journey last year, and we were going to do it then. And we got all the way up until the episode that I ended on.
Yeah.
And we stopped.
Yeah. I don't know
why. Because Kaylee was falling asleep because I was putting it on too late at night.
Well, yeah, I know why we stopped watching it, but...
But now we got the kids into it.
Yes.
And so we're watching it.
They really like it.
Yes.
Which is great. We were not expecting them to be into it. We thought that they were going to be kind of like begrudgingly watching it with us, but they love it. They are really excited, and it's super fun for us because we both are big X-Files fans.
Yeah.
I grew up on the show. Watching it with my dad when I was younger, and I haven't seen every episode, so I'm really excited. Like I saw when the revival, like the new seasons came out, the new season, I watched that. I don't remember a lot of it, to be totally honest.
There's
2 seasons, okay. And there's definitely like later seasons that I don't think I've seen. Yeah. Well, at least every episode from.
I haven't seen every episode either.
Yeah.
I mean, the later stuff, when Doggett comes around and stuff like that, I definitely checked out back in the day. And I still have yet to go back and watch almost any of those episodes. So, like, seasons, like, 8 and 9, I don't know if I've seen much, if anything. So, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so continuing on... and shout out to the ladies, my girls, Oliver and Elliot, who are watching this with us. We love you so much.
We love you so much.
We wish you were here, but you guys are lunatics, and you don't know how to stay focused. And I really, really wish that you could be here to talk about these with us, but they're just not there yet. Every time we have them on, I'm always like, yeah, they're close. They're close. They're getting closer. They might eventually, because it's going to take us a while to do. So we'll see. We might get the girls on for some of these.
Yeah,
we'll see.
For sure.
For all 2 of you that care about this. Because I don't think anybody's going to give a shit about this, but we're just going to do it for us.
Yes.
If no one watches, no one watches. So, X-Files Season 2, Episode 12, Aubrey. Aubrey is the name of the town in Missouri. We get this very weird opening shot of, like, this almost POV of a dog. I don't really know what that is. I don't know if that's, like, supposed to be the spirit of her, like, because her grandfather's still alive. And it's, like, genetic memory being passed down to her because it skips a generation. But he's still alive, right? Like, so in that episode, there was an episode in the past that we just watched. I think it was this season or whatever. You have the little girl who is like possessed, sort of. She's just like a conduit because it really just kind of does its killing. She's like Annabelle.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
She's just kind of like the vessel for the spirit so it can get its revenge. As to where with this one, it's just genetic memory.
That one is also more of like a reincarnation kind of a deal, right? The other episode you're talking about?
It's like...
This one...
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Well, and this one has, like, but as you said, like, her grandfather is still alive.
Yeah.
So it's not a reincarnation
No.
thing. It's kind of just like...
Mulder literally calls it genetic memory.
But it's very weird.
So...
Truthfully, I didn't really like this episode that much.
I didn't either, but it was really cool to see Terry O'Quinn as the detective here that knocked her up.
Yeah.
And he, like, wants nothing to do with it. So, like, her generations are, like, you know, her grandmother gets raped and has the baby and gives it away. And then she's having sex with a married man. Yeah. And he doesn't want her to have the baby. He's, like, forcing her into an abortion. Which seems like one of the more anti-abortion type people kind of behavior. Those are the kinds of guys that are, like, voting to take your abortion rights away. but as soon as they get you pregnant behind their wife's backs, they're like, oh no, you're getting rid of this thing. I'm going to drive you out to the state where they still do it.
Yeah, he's not a great guy, for sure. Yeah, I like seeing him, though. It's always fun to see him. I always think of Lost, like, first and foremost, but I also think of The Stepfather now, too, which is fun. I think why I didn't like it is that I was really confused about the genetic memory thing. Like, I didn't really understand how that was working.
Yeah, I didn't.
And, you know, I think this is something that we'll probably find in a lot of X-Files episodes. Like, some of them make a lot of, like, logical sense, or they have, like, a folklore backing, or, like, a conspiracy theory backing, or something that you're kind of like, okay, I know what they're going for with this, it makes sense. And then sometimes there's ones that happen that you're just like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? Yeah. But that's the fun of it. That's definitely the fun of the show.
One of the things that I think is a missed opportunity in this show, which they kind of do once in a great while, but I would like them to have played around more with, is it supernatural or is it scientifically provable? And one episode, it's like them fighting back and forth, and then it's kind of proved, like, Mulder's more right or Scully's more right, where it's almost like a Scooby-Doo reveal of, like, it's actually the caretaker.
It definitely feels like almost all of them are
actually supernatural.
Are actually X-Files. They're not even supernatural, but just, like, unexplainable by science. I mean, supernatural. I think you're right. Like,
so the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that is, like, explainable thus far is the Fluke. And it's because it's like a cesspool that was created by, like, radiation.
Yeah.
And it just, like,
created that.
Yeah, it's created that thing.
Yeah, that one's super, like, well, I shouldn't say
Explainable.
super grounded in science, but yeah, it's explainable.
Sure.
Yeah, this one, I'm just like, I don't understand how this works at all, because normally, like, the reincarnation angle, I think, works really well for this type of story, but that's not what's going on. So I just don't understand how she's embodying, like, she starts to look like him, even. That's what's weird. Right. It's like he's possessing her, but he's not.
Yeah, she gets his, like, weird. Eczema on her face,
and starts, like, she, like, thinks she's him.
Yeah, and she carves Sister into her own chest.
Yeah.
Which is, like, he did it to her.
Right.
And I don't understand that.
It's super weird.
The Sister thing, him, like, writing Sister, of course, reminds me of Halloween 2, because that's the only word Michael Myers ever writes. Or, I'm sorry, he stabs and then writes Samhain or Samhain. Why did I think he wrote Sister? I thought he wrote Sister, but he just stabbed Sister. Okay, never mind all that. Completely moot point.
It still made you think of it, though.
I thought, for some reason in my head, because he stabs his sister and he looks at it and they say Sister. Yeah. I thought, like, on the board in my head, it was like, no, the Festival of Samhain and all that shit. You'd think he'd know how to pronounce that. I liked that they touched on the fact that the guys in the past that were investigating the rapist and the murderers at the time were trying to, like, psychologically profile killers and were seen as basically Mulder and Scully. They were seen as, like, the woo-woo weirdos. Yeah. They were, like, because that was, I mean, up until, like, Mine Hunters.
Right.
Like, the criminal pathology and stuff was like, it was like fringe science. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
We can't, like, understand these lunatics.
Like they're just evil. And
they're just evil.
And,
they're Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was cool to see the parallels between the two of them.
Mulder, I the show, while it mostly is serious and has a lot of drama and supernatural and horror and all these things, I always love. They don't happen often. They happen maybe once every episode or two. But whenever there's like a good little like cute, funny one-liner between them, right? Like when Mulder makes the quip about a girl named BJ.
Yeah.
I love those moments.
Me too. I do too.
The funny little one-liners from Scully or Mulder. They're both so serious all the time.
Yeah. And they have just such great chemistry together in so many ways. It's not just like there's romantic, sexual energy kind of there, but they also have like this friendship. They have like great like partner, like work partner energy too. And yeah, it's so fun when they make those, because both of them, like Scully is very sarcastic and Mulder definitely is sarcastic too, but I feel like every time he says something, like he always says it with this like shit-eating grin on his face. Like he's very snarky and very much like, I know this is stupid. Yeah. And she just is always like rolling her eyes and it's great. Yeah.
And she has funny quips too.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
She says really funny stuff.
I love when she makes like comments that are funny.
Yeah.
As I said, they don't happen often, but when they do, they're always great.
Yeah, I agree.
And talking about the revival stuff, I think it's the first revival, season 10. There's an episode, it's called something like Mulder and Scully Meet the Were-Monster or whatever.
I remember that one.
That one is like, that one's pure comedy.
Yes,
from beginning to end.
Such a
and
comedy.
I remember like legitimately laughing out loud throughout the entirety of that episode.
Yeah.
So I feel like this actually lends itself very well to comedy. Mm-hmm. And there's fun episodes. Like there's a really fun episode later on where Mulder and Scully get stuck in like a ghost house and are like living. It's almost like a Christmas Carol. Mm-hmm. That's a super fun episode. And then the one with like the genie with the wishes and all of that stuff. Like it does start to get sillier. And then the Groundhog Day one where they live it over and over. But there's actually like pretty comedic episodes. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say there's also very serious ones though too.
Oh sure.
Like
most
really,
of them.
Really dark stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Home.
I mean, yeah, that one is like the worst of like. It's terrifying. But just even like, in this last season, right, in season 1 when Scully gets taken.
Sure.
And like, she's like on her deathbed and all of that. So
that's season 2.
Or sorry, she gets taken at the end of season 1, right? And then season 2.
No.
Oh. I guess I'm forgetting how season 1 ended then. Anyway, when she gets taken and then is like in a coma for a while, that I think is really serious. But there's a lot of moments like that.
Dwayne Barry takes her.
Yeah, that's season 2.
That's like episode 5 of season 2.
Sorry.
At the end of season 1 is when Deep Throat is killed.
That's
and the
right.
X-Files is shut down.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
That's all right. Anyway, is it true that a woman can tell when two people are having an affair, like Scully says? A woman just knows these things, Mulder.
Scully knows because she is a trained FBI agent who studies behavior and is really good at reading people. And I think probably a lot of people could maybe tell because, like, they are kind of obvious about it, I would say. Like, they have this kind of, the way they act around each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Scully's just like dead on about it.
Yes,
and when it's revealed later, when she comes forward and like tells Scully in confidence, and then she immediately goes and tells Mulder at the computer, and she's like, "They're having an affair, and it's his baby." Like she's such a gossip
and she's
queen right in that
walking
moment.
into like right when Scully's telling Mulder, she's like walking in, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
But I mean, they're partners.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, they share everything.
And it's like he needs to know. It's impertinent information.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, it's not irrelevant.
Yeah.
It absolutely is important to the case and her mindset and who they're working with.
Yeah.
Right. And when she comes in and they're like trying to figure out what's carved into the chest, and she's like, "Brother," and it like matches, then it's like, what?
Like, what's going on here?
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And And yeah, so something that they did in a previous episode, which is the I think it's Excelsior's Day. I think it's the one I ended on, which is episode 11 in the convalescent home. They cast the oldest people to play what in this episode is 77. This guy looks 177. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if they've seen any, but maybe in 1994, this is what 77-year-olds are, and it's warped my perception because people who were 20 looked 30 in the 80s, right? When you look back on the 80s, people who were like, you know, as I said, like 21, 22, they look freaking 32, and people who were 30 look 50.
I mean, Scully.
So it's possible.
Literally supposed to be 30.
Scully's supposed to be 30, but she's
she's
being played by a 24-year-old actress. Yeah. But I don't know, man. Like, this guy looks ancient. And the people in the... But even... Okay, but if we just take the actors...
Yeah.
Who were actually that age at the time... The actor who plays, like, the character in I think it's episode 11, when the convalescent home... He says he's 74. And he's actually, like... 86 or something, and it's like he looks it.
Yeah.
Why not just say that's his age?
Yeah, I don't know.
If he's actually 84,
right?
Why not just say he's 84, 86, or whatever he is? Like, there's no reason to make it a different
make him
number.
Younger.
It's like, just say he's 80 something. That actually adds to it because it's like, holy shit, he's so old that he shouldn't be able to do these things.
Yeah.
And when they made this guy 77, I'm like, bro, this guy looks 90.
Yeah, he looks really bad. And I mean, he's like, you know, he's got like his oxygen tank and everything, and he's supposed to not be well. So part of it's that. But...
I worked 20 years in a retirement community. Like, Sedona is a retirement, you know, destination for so many people. I have done 70-plus-year-olds' hair for decades.
Oh, yeah.
They are nothing like this. Yeah. They look so much younger. But as I said, people definitely look younger now than they did.
Yeah, I think people take care of themselves. I think we have a better understanding on how to take care of ourselves as we age.
Yeah.
In some ways, so I think that helps for sure.
Which means people are going to look even younger.
Oh, yeah. And, like, fashion, too, plays a big part of it. Like, the way they dress and everything. So,
yeah.
Yeah, but he looks really old. Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I mean, that's really it. The genetic memory stuff and her attacking her mom and then seeing the sister and that staving her off of doing it. And then she runs off to kill her dad or grandpa and, like, gets in there and he's... Like, I don't know. I didn't really buy into much of it. Mm-hmm. It made it too confusing. I was actually kind of lost on some of it.
Yeah, I definitely was.
How the case of, like, all the guys that are, like, buried and how she was led to them. Like, I get it that it's genetic memory, but, like, didn't really amount to anything.
Yeah, like...
Because
she's the one that's killing people, too, right? That's, like, when they find this other body that has a sister carved into it, she's the one that did it. Or am I misunderstanding that?
If that guy was never caught, and she tracked him down,
sure, that would make sense
to kill him.
Yeah,
but he's known. Like they already know him. He
already went to jail.
He went to jail for the rape.
Yeah,
but he did not go to the jail for the murders of those those FBI agents or cops or whatever. So he definitely kind of gets away with something. To my understanding, unless I missed that, and he got also convicted for their murders, but they never found their bodies because she finds both of their bodies, so that's him. But it ultimately doesn't lead to anything because she just goes and kills him. So it's not like he gets arrested or like he already lived his life. He's almost dead. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just not very impactful.
The ending too is really sad because she's basically just in a facility,
and she tries to kill her baby. That's why she's there on, like, suicide watch, because she tried to self-abort. Yeah. Because she doesn't want to pass down this gene thing that she has.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. It's, like, really sad, actually. But, yeah, I think it's...
But Terry O'Quinn and his wife want to take the baby.
Right. Which we were like, really?
Right.
He was like, no, get rid of it. Now he's like, I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah, I don't think he would have told his wife. I think he would have just been like, hush, hush about it.
I mean, he could have just been like,
crazy.
this is my partner's kid, like, and she's crazy. Like, we need to take
Yeah,
kid.
she's
You know
in
what I
an
mean?
insane asylum, and she's like, it's your kid. And he's, that bitch crazy. Literally. Certifiably crazy.
Yeah.
You can't listen to her, honey.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Gaslighting her.
100 would be like the easiest gaslight of all time. She's literally insane and killed people.
But the government's like testing her, or trying to study her now.
Yeah.
Because of that whole thing. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a confusing episode for sure, but it's okay.
It's directed by Rob Bowman, who is one of the main directors of the X-Files. Directed 34 episodes, as well as the X-Files movie, Fight the Future. So,
Okay.
I would hope it would be better, but man, yeah.
It's just kind of like
it's a lame one to come back on.
Yeah, it kind of, it's not
like after 5 years
one.
is like,
here's
this amazing episode.
Genetic memory.
All right, so that's that.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to the next one. So, thanks to all 2 of you who are watching.
Bye.